Hello, you're watching Daily News on Whole News Nigeria. I am Okweyemi Olubemi. Here are the headlines for today. Violent protests erupts nationwide over Naira Scarcity. BUHARI to extend validity of old Naira notes. OSHIOMHOLE rescues TINUBU from national embarrassment. Welcome back. Now the news in detail. Another round of protests have broken out across different states in Nigeria, leaving at least 3 persons dead. On Wednesday, violent protests erupted in states across the country over lingering fuel and Naira scarcity. States affected include Edo, Oyo, Delta, Kwara, Ondo, Benue, and Akwa Ibom.
This is Benin, in front of the Central Bank, Edo State, undercover CBN. The tension is mounting. This is Benin, and it's becoming serious. It's becoming heavy. It's becoming more tense. People are getting fed up. People are tired. People are. The pace is more. The pace is getting more and more on daily basis. People are not taking it falling. They are not taking it falling. Look at Benin. This is Akwa. This is Akwa.
While 3 persons were killed in Edo, many protesters were injured as cars, automated teller machines, and ATMs were destroyed in Oyo, Delta, and Kwara and Benue State over the scarcity of old and new Naira notes. This comes less than 2 weeks after residents of Ibadan, Oyo State, took the streets in protest against the hardship triggered by the Naira note swap and fuel price hike. Violent demonstrations played out on Wednesday in Ibadan and Udo near Warri, the commercial hub of Delta State. The protests were in reaction to banks nationwide refusing the old currency in line with a position taken by the Central Bank of Nigeria, although the Supreme Court had ruled that the Apex Bank's February 10 deadline be suspended temporarily. The position has since led to a standoff between the CBN and the governors of various states, including Kano, Ogun, and Ondo, who challenged the Apex Bank and other banks in their respective states that continue to reject the old currency. There were demonstrations in different parts of Ibadan, such as Mokola, resulting in a gridlock along Eleyele Erua Road. Cars were turned back at some point, while some school children were forced to return home as a result of the protest. Commercial activities were grounded as the Mokola Road was turned into a football field. Most major roads were deserted as many residents resorted to trekking long distances. Some fish sellers took their protest to a private radio station in Ibadan, claiming that they sold all their products on Tuesday, accepting the old Naira notes, but on getting to the strong rooms of their bank to deposit the funds, no one was willing to sell to them. Crowds were seen in front of the CBN office at Dugbe, waiting to be attended to in a bid to change old Naira notes amid heavy security presence. In Delta State, the ongoing rampage blocked the major highway with bonfires and other objects at their disposal, destroying ATMs belonging to some banks in the area. Parts of the buildings of banks were vandalized by the mob, who hurled stones and other objects at the premises, prompting bank workers and their customers to scamper for safety. Chaos broke out across various banks on Akpakpava Road in Benin City, the Edo State capital, following what some eyewitnesses described as an inability to access cash at the banks. Bonfires were started by angry residents along the road. Some of the angry residents claimed that shootings led to the death of some persons who had visited the banks for cash withdrawals. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court of Nigeria on Wednesday adjourned the case on the Naira swap policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, till February 22nd for hearing of the consolidated suit by 10 states. President Muhammadu Buhari is considering extending the validity of old Naira notes by 60 days. This is to avoid disobeying the order of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, which ruled that the old 1,000 Naira, 500 Naira, and 200 Naira notes remain valid until it delivers judgment in the case filed by some states against the federal government. The CBN had insisted that the deadline of February 10 would not be changed, But Buhari was worried about the hardship faced by Nigerians as well as the legal implications of disobeying the order of the Constitutional Court. Buhari, who is expected to address the nation on Thursday morning, is considering to allow only the old 200 Naira notes to remain legal tender until April 20, 2023. Speaking of, while Nigerians are agonizing over the crunch of Naira scarcity, banks are trying to reinforce the use of coins for transactions. In the viral video, a woman could be heard saying that a full bag of 2 Naira coins amounts to 2,000 Naira.
Our sorters, please. Sort the coin.
Which coin?
Some for ATM machine.
This. Okay, how much is one bag?
500, 1,000, 2,000. This is 2,000 Naira.
2,000.
This is 2,000 Naira. The way forward in Nigeria.
But no, that when it got anything, we drop a boy.
Coins are part of the Nigerian currency. The structure comprises 3 coin denominations: 50 kobo, 1 Naira, and 2 Naira. Finally, on the news, former Edo State Governor Adams OSHIOMHOLE on Wednesday came to the rescue of the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as he left netizens rattled following another jab during his presidential rally in Rivers State. Tinubu rattled social media users when he threw up his hands during the recitation of the national anthem. Tinubu was seen holding up the staff with 2 hands as soon as the announcer instructed everyone to stand up for the national anthem, while others in his entourage, including the APC vice presidential candidate Kashim Shettima and Shiomole, stood attentively for the anthem as norms requires. It was only Tinubu that unconsciously acted otherwise. Noticing the massive blunder by Bola Tinubu, OSHIOMHOLE had to intervene by tapping him to return Tinubu back to consciousness and subsequently turn his hands downwards. And that's it on today's news. Join us tomorrow for more news updates. You can also follow us on all social media platforms displayed on the screen. I am Okoyemi Olubimi. Do have a lovely day.